I don't know. You're very good to say that. See anything about yeah. That's a good game. I'm still watching for a second. I'll watch live. Watch. Whatever.
Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPam.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESEnergize.com.
The Natural Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn & Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinssurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPam.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESenergize.com.
The Natural Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn and Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand.
Okay, good morning. I've got 9 a.m. I understand Mr. Reiser is on the way in, but I think we're just going to go ahead and get started with preliminaries, and he'll be here before conducting business. And I understand, I think Mr. Sutton or Ms. Brown are going to be here. So let's do a roll call, please. Okay, the tablet should be on there.
Commissioners present.
Okay, and we'll add him when he arrives. Also, Mr. Brown is going to be with Ms. Mathis through this meeting. A minute for reflecting Mr. Brown. I'm sorry, it's a software glitch. We had to override it and say his name. Okay.
All rise. Giles County Court of Assessment. Honorable Prince Stowe will be presiding.
And Mr. Reed, you lead us in prayer.
Yes. Lord, we thank you for the beautiful weather that we have here. We thank you for the season of the year where we can see the landscape beginning to lay to rest. And we just ask you, Lord, to help us to use that to store up our faith in knowing that you have all things in your hand and we can see your handiwork. Lord, we ask you to be with those that are sick, be with Mr. Sutton. Bless him, Lord. And there are many people in this county that need your help, that need your healing hand. And Lord, we just ask you to be with them and help them to improve in their life situation. Lord, we just ask you to be with our nation. We're much divided in the political season. Help us to know, Lord, that you have all things in your hand, and however these things turn out, that it was in your will. And help us all to know that we can disagree and still hold fast to one another as brothers and sisters. And Lord, we just ask you to be with our county. We're so thankful for the service that we have here and all the servants that we have that serve our county. We ask you to bless them, to bless their families, and Lord, help us to appreciate what we have here. Such a beautiful place to live with such a great heritage. And Lord, we thank you that our nation was founded through help from your hand, as we can see the things that happened in history, to know that it could not help from just mere mortal man. We ask you to be with us in this meeting that we have here. May we take to heart the fact that we're stewards of things in this county for only a short while. Help us to resolve to leave it in a better situation than we have found it, for those that are yet in the future, those that are young, those yet that are unborn. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'm going to request a motion to approve the agenda as publicized, but I want to add a second for the sheriff to address the commission immediately after we recognize our appointed board. Mr. Reedy and a second from Ms. Goulsby. Any opposed to that? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion's carried. Okay, next I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No, I'm sorry. Mr. Hopkins, motion to approve. Is there a second? And a second by Mr. Brown. Any corrections to the minutes? Okay, seeing none, unanimous consent for approval of the minutes. Now I'd like to recognize Giles County's employee of the quarter. And as Mr. Jeremy Mitchell, please join me at the podium. Yeah. This is the citation to accompany the Giles County Employee of the Quarter Award to Jeremy Mitchell, Giles County Emergency Management. Mr. Jeremy Mitchell is cited for meritorious service in the performance of duty from July to September 2024, serving as operations specialist with Giles County Office of Emergency Management. Mr. Mitchell's achievements exemplify our core values of integrity, stewardship, and excellence. He consistently demonstrated a steadfast dedication to his responsibilities, going above and beyond to provide superior service to our community. When duty calls, Mr. Mitchell is there. He has a unique ability to run into any team, which was exemplified when he served as incident commander for an exhaustive 4-day search and rescue case, leading to the extraordinary rescue of a local citizen. Mr. Mitchell continually demonstrated an exhaustive array of skills, saving the county a tremendous amount of money as he rewired the command trailer, repaired generators, and installed equipment. He was also instrumental in developing and implementing the FAA Certified Emergency Services Drone Program. Beyond his county responsibilities, he served as chief of the Giles County Fire and Rescue, where he sacrificed countless hours ensuring fire and rescue remains an effective partner with Giles County Emergency Services. Throughout this quarter, he was an exemplary performer. His unwavering commitment to improving the well-being of Giles County is commendable, embodying the spirit of public service. In recognition of his extraordinary performance, we hereby recognize Jeremy Mitchell as Giles County Employee of the Quarter. Mr. Mitchell's pursuit of excellence and devotion to duty are most heartily recommended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of Giles County Public Service. Thanks for all you do. So, Kyle, could I ask you to come to the podium, please? Yep.
Good morning. Morning. Try to get through this without getting emotional, but I'm here today to announce that I have accepted a position to be Special Agent with Tennessee Homeland Security. I apologize that I was not the first person to make you all aware of this, as I heard you were contacted from an outside source who was not completely aware of the process of the position. I apologize that this happened without my consent. I do want the citizens of Giles County to know that for the last 18 years, dedicated my heart and soul to this job. I love this county and these citizens. As a department, we have made great achievements, and honestly, it's far too many to discuss today. To continue the success of this sheriff's department, I am recommending to all the county commission that Captain Joe Purvis be appointed to complete the term through August of 2026. He is a true leader and respected by all the employees of the sheriff's department. Feel strongly that Captain Purvis is the best candidate to lead our department into the future. Once again, I would like to thank you, Mr. Stowe, County Commission, and the citizens of Giles County for the opportunity to serve. Thank you.
Sheriff, we're gonna miss you. I'll just make a note for all of us is that this leaves us with some work to do. The commission is the one who selects the replacement for the sheriff. I'm going to read back up on my CTAP rules as to how that works. I know there's a period of publication that we have to go through, and I'll let you know as to whether we're going to do a special call meeting or we're going to take care of this in November. Okay. Thanks, Sheriff. So the record reflects that Mr. Reisner has joined us. We have 19 commissioners present. Okay. Mr. Reese is here for the EDC report.
Thank you, Mr. Stowe. Good morning. So the last month we updated for was August on unemployment. It ticked down to 3.6 from 4.2 the month earlier. If you look at the labor force numbers, the total labor force has been fairly steady this entire year at around 14,800 people. The unemployment rate in August reflected just under 530 people that were unemployed in this report. And if you look at those numbers kind of year to date, the first several months of the year where we were running, much lower unemployment, we had several months below 3%. Those numbers were running around 430 on average. So this higher unemployment rate reflects an additional 100 people or so versus what we saw in the first half of the year that are looking for work, considered unemployed. If you look at the project requests that we've had this last month, since I was with you before, there have been 6 different requests for information that have come in through the state. Of those 6, 5 of those were looking for an existing building. And so we've all talked about that before, that that's one of our shortcomings, is not to have a building. And, we will continue to work on that as we get through this work we're doing on Lot 5 and look at reapplying, in the future, potentially for a grant from the state to try to address that shortcoming. We did have one project that came in called Project Dunes. It's a manufacturer of electric off-road vehicles. I don't know the name of the company, but it's a company that currently makes an off-road vehicle, but they're looking for a site to make an electric version of that. And their preference was to have a building, but they didn't say it was a requirement. They're looking for a 150,000 square foot building, a 10 to 20 acre site. It's a lot 5, fits those requirements. So we did submit lot 5 for that. This is the search, pretty broadly in the southeast. So we'll be competing obviously with a lot of other sites, but we did submit lot 5 for that project. The site development grant, not much of an update on that. We have worked with Barge Design Solutions to kind of agree on a building orientation, if you will, for that site that would easily fit a 200,000 square foot building, which was the requirement for the grant that we applied for in the past. And so we've done a layout of the building, making sure that we have plenty of area around the building for emergency vehicle flow, trucks coming in, loading docks, employee parking, those kinds of things. And so now that they kind of have what a building would look like on that site, they're working on the grading plan that would support that. And we should have that done at the end of the month. And then once we have that, we'll have to, go through a review of that and make sure it meets our needs. And then we put that out for bid and still hope to get that project done, sometime in the early part of next year. The only other thing I'll mention is that the executive committee of the Economic Development Commission did approve last week to fund a housing study for the county. It's one of the things since I've been in this role that I get a lot of questions on, we need more housing is what I commonly hear. And so one of the things we're doing is bringing a group in, it's called Next Move Group. They've done studies for several counties in our area. They do them all across the country. It'll cost $500 to fund this study. And what they'll do is they'll come in and look at county data. This will be specific to Giles County. So they'll look at data, demographic data. They look at household spending and income information. They look at what the housing and rental inventory is in the county. Look at what the projected population growth is. It'll also take into account any known increases over the next years that we know of as far as employee growth, whether it's UT Southern growing, whether it's some of our local industries that are looking to expand. And they'll take all that information, put it together, and then they come up with a study that basically says, based on all this data, here's the amount of housing inventory growth we think you need in the next 5 years. And they break it down into different price ranges. So based on the demographic data, the income data, it'll be a report that shows, you need X number of houses in the 150 to 200,000 range, X number in the 200 to 300,000 range, and all that. And so we could have that study. We have a kickoff meeting tomorrow, I believe it is, and then we should have that study done certainly by the end of the year. I think they said it would take them a couple of months to get that done. If any of you are interested in looking at what that study will the way it will be set up and the way it will be framed, just send me an email and I'll be happy to send you a copy of some samples that they gave us, and just so you'll know what that's going to look like. But I think it'll be something that'll be good for us. Taking a lot of data, putting it together, and it'll be something that we can use as we go out and try to talk to developers around the need for housing in our county. And I think get them more comfortable with making investments here because of the need for housing, what we think the community can support. That's it, unless there are any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Reese. Next item on the agenda is public comments. Are there any public comments on issues on today's agenda? Okay, seeing none, the next item on the agenda are the elections.
First, notary public at large. We have the following re-elections. They are Joyce Bedlin, Fallon Kimbrough, Mary E. Malone, and Norma P. White. Meeting applications are Teresa J. Diesel, Tracy L. Gentry, Denise Malone, and Melissa.
Yes, Mr. Wilmer, motion to approve. Second by Ms. Pruitt. Comments or discussion? We'll just set you up for a vote. Okay, please vote.
10 ayes.
Motion carries.
Next election is the EDC, Matt Rubelski, budget chair, and Terry Jones have been appointed to one-year term. You're to confirm their appointments.
Motion, Mr.
Make a
Reed,
motion to approve.
second for Mr. Bedore. Comments or discussion? Okay, we'll set you up for a vote. Please vote.
Seventeen ayes and 2 abstain.
The motion carries. And next are the 5 members for the planning commission. There's only one carryover from the previous term, that's Kristen Pfeiffer. Also Caleb Savage, Andy Edwards, Tommy Price, and Brian Martz. Entertain a motion. Mr. Hopkins, motion, second, Mr. Jones, sorry. Comments or discussion on those? Okay, please vote.
And the vote is 18 ayes and 1 abstain.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. The next item are your reports.
The reports we have today are the Finance Director's report for August of 2024, which includes the following: Giles County General Fund, Drug, American Rescue Plan, Probation Fund, Highway, School, Federal, Food Service, Debt Service, Capital Projects, Highway Capital Projects, Education Capital Projects, Education Capital number 2, and other capital projects. Giles County Highway Department Quarterly Report, Giles County Health Department Quarterly Report, Giles County Public Library Report, first quarter of 24-25, and Giles County Highway Department bill sale from 2005 to 2006, map dumps with a plat.
Okay, so 6 reports. I'll entertain a motion to combine. Mr. Savage, second by Mr. Hopkins. Any comments or discussion on combining these 6 reports? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the reports. Mr. Brown, second from Mr. Jones. Comments or discussion? Questions? Okay, this is a vote to approve the 6 reports.
The vote is 19 ayes.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda,
Next is the contract agreements and grants. We have 2. This is Giles County Sheriff's Department grant and enforcement of Tennessee driving under the influence laws. The term is October 1, 2024 to September 30, 2025. We have the lease agreement between Rackley Family LLC and the Giles County Board of Education. That term is November 1, 2024 to December 31, 2028.
okay. Floor is open for a motion. Mr. Wamble.
I'll make a motion to divide these and vote on them separately.
Okay. Is there a second for that? Second for Mr. Bedore. Comments or discussion on separating these? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Very well. We're going to address these separately, so I'll entertain a motion for the first contract with Giles County Sheriff's Department grant. Goolsby, and second from Mr. Butler. Comments or discussion on that contract? Okay, I'll set you up for a vote. Mr. Reed and Mr. Adams.
Nineteen ayes.
Motion carries. And the second contract, which is a lease agreement between Rackley Family LLC and the Giles County Board of Education. I'll entertain a motion. Mr.
Make
Reedy,
a motion to approve.
and a second, Mr. Wamble. Comments or discussion on that one? Okay, prepare for the vote. Please vote.
Seventeen ayes, one no, and one abstain.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, next, we're ready for our resolutions.
Okay, the first resolution is amendment 2024-60, authorizing the amendment of the 24-25 county, budget county general fund 101 and fund 170.
We're looking for a motion. Mr. Wilbur, go for it. And second from Mr. Hopkins, thank you. Comments or discussion? Okay, please vote.
Vote is 18 ayes and one no.
Motion carries. Next is 2024-61, authorizing the amendment of 2024-2025 budget, Highway Fund 131. Yes, Mr. Reisner.
Motion approved.
Is there a second? Mr. Wilbur. Comments or discussion? Yes, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I'd like for us to get this vote on and pass. I've also, talked to Mr. Gene Barnett about maybe even going further. He's got a really good idea on, giving raises at 20, because they don't do it, right now they just vacations at 15, and then, so now they want to do a raise 25%. And I asked him, could we not also do it at 30 and at 40, which would be very minimal people? And I think we could get that. We probably have to wait to pass this today, and then see if he needs any more done.
Okay, so this was the resolution passed through the highway committee. Are you raising something that needs another committee meeting?
No.
It doesn't?
I wouldn't think so. I talked to Gene about it, and but I don't know, we could probably vote on it today, or would that need another highway meeting, Gene?
It should be an agenda item specifically, so that it's publicized. So let's get that publicized for the next meeting. Okay, any other comments or discussion on this resolution? Okay, seeing none, please vote.
Vote is 19 ayes.
The motion carries. Okay, the next resolution is 2024-62. Got a brief synopsis of that. This is a commitment to the phase 1 scope of work that was briefed to the commission on September 4th, and that's the building committee 6-1 on September 25th. The top end estimate for the phase 1 construction budget is $7.2 million. And this resolution authorizes the county executive to proceed with completing drawings and specs for exterior repairs, proceed with pre-construction services to develop a guaranteed maximum price, and proceed with schematic design for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, accessibility, and security, which will yield a preliminary phase 2 scope of work and a budget estimate for that. So the floor is open for a motion. Mr. Tocqueville and Ms. Curry. Thank you. Floor is open for discussion. Mr. Bedore.
Just curious, were we gonna try to include HVAC with phase 1? I know we discussed trying to see what the architect said, if they could include it in phase 1.
We can't, because that's dependent on our decision as to whether we do a criminal court. And I've got an estimate for the work on the criminal court. If you all decide to proceed with that, that will come up in the next building committee next month. Once we make that decision, then we can expedite HVAC.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm just curious, if we do make the criminal court decision, we'd be able to possibly fold in the HVAC to phase 1 at a later date.
Yeah, maybe phase 1.5, I mean, it would happen, yeah. Yes, sir. Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Williams?
You know, what brought all this about is fire suppression. And, it's been talked about with a boiler system ever since I've been the county commissioner, needed replaced. That's two of the main things that I think this courthouse needs. And if we could get an estimate on the HVAC and just the fire suppression, because from my understanding, some of the meetings we had, you got to tear out a lot of stuff, put the fire suppression system in, and also the HVAC. It would kind of coincide with each other. And I think if we could look at that, those two projects right there versus doing the whole thing all at once, because we still don't know how we're gonna pay for $7.2 million.
You're right. I mean, this gets to Harvey's chart, the architect for OHM, who explained the sequencing of things that have to happen before you can even get to fire suppression. And then the things that came up in their study, which were, if we're going to do HVAC, for the sake of energy efficiency, then the windows would be a logical place to start, make sure that we're more energy efficient. And then we've got the exterior part. The big part of this package is the exterior envelope, which has a lot of degradation of masonry. So that I think that's got to be, that's structural, and there's structural repairs in this too.
I'm still hung up on these windows. Of course, the total cost of that's, man, it's hard to swallow. And the people I talk to about in my district is hard swallowing it too. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's expensive.
That's just my thinking. If we could get this HVAC, that was one of the top priorities that needed to be done in the fire suppression. And then we go along with each other installing them.
Yeah, fire suppression is part of this package. HVAC really needs, like I just said, we need to make one decision on our end before they can work on that design.
Yes. What I understood in the meeting, if you tear out the stuff to put the fire suppression in, it would be a good time to do the HVAC. Because if you put the fire suppression in and go back and fix it and tear it back out again, you see what I'm saying?
I'm sure.
I'd like to know about that before I put it in this.
Well, when they proposed this to us on September 4th, they had it broken out into the constituent parts. If you want to split any of those things out, you can do that with a motion. Mr. Jones?
At this time, I'm with Tracy. I'm for A, B, and E, and the HVAC system. That's as far as I'd be wanting to go at this time with all the money. Like I said, we don't even know how we pay for what's on the paper right now.
So if you want to do anything like that, it's going to have to be put in the form of a motion. Right now, there's no motion. What we have a motion to approve the entirety. Yes, sir.
It's really be hard to put it in motion until we find out the price from the HVAC. Is that, we kind of like to know what that would be costing before we put it in a form of motion. I guess you would say if we send us back to get a estimate on that, and then add to.
Okay, so an estimate on the HVAC before and mechanical work.
And if that will coincide with each other.
Okay. Ms. Burke?
They had given us a preliminary estimate of 2.4 for the HVAC, and I think that was their worst case scenario.
I heard that too. Is that, I'm sorry, I got some, so Mr. Rebelski, is that your comment?
Yeah, that's where I was going. We have the breakdown, the HVAC, like Aaron stated, was 2.4 million. So if you were to add that in with what we are now, then it would be about $9.5 million. So I I agree with Tracy and with Terry about the cost of the expenses, but the other thing that you gotta think we're looking at is, the talk and conversation that we had is the beauty of our courthouse and what we have. If we want to sustain and to keep this, we could add a suppression system, fire suppression. We could add in these, other features, but if your structure continues to deteriorate and fall, we don't have anything to come through. So the break was for the fire and suppression was 2.5 million. The windows and doors were about 2.4, structural repair 580, the masonry veneer 1.5. I mean, so the breakdown's there. I agree, it's a lot of money, but you gotta make sure the structure's gonna be there and it'll stay before you're in stuff to the inside too. So that's my thought process.
Mr. Butler?
I mean, when we do a project to the scope on anything, on your house, on this building, on whatever, you've got to do everything. I mean, you can pick and choose what you want to do, but what good is it going to do to redo the HVAC in here if the front wall of the building collapses because the masonry's back? Or the arches downstairs that need support, if we don't fix those and then we go put new units inside the building, if we go with geothermal, they're gonna have to support more weight. So all of this other stuff has to be fixed too. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit here and we're gonna pick this thing apart. And we're gonna vote for HVAC, and we're gonna vote for fire suppression, and we're gonna vote for this, and we're gonna vote for that. And then we're gonna be in the same situation that we were with the ambulance building, and it's gonna be 30 years before this gets done, and the price is gonna be twice what it is now. I mean, we can't pick these things apart. We've got a reputable company that's heading this for us. They're giving us guidance on what to do. We need to heed their advice. That's why we hire.
Mr. Womble?
Could we continue with this process on getting firm prices without committing to section 2, that the commission commits to funding phase 1? We get to discuss how we're going to fund it. I want to see this keep moving forward. I want to see the actual prices. I don't feel comfortable committing to funding this phase 1 construction budget of 7.2 million when we don't know exactly what things are going to cost and we don't know how we're going to fund it.
Well, we know what it's going to cost. I mean, 7.2 million is the package. Okay. I agree with you. We've got to figure out how it's going to be funded. But if we don't commit to it, then I tell OHN and Region Young to stop until further notice. Yes, Mr. Wilbur.
That's kind of where I'm at with that, because if we pass it, it's saying that even what, regardless, we're gonna buy this. That's why I'm understanding. And if we don't have the money, you know, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna buy your car, but I ain't got for $100. We may not get the deal done.
Put it in form of a motion. I can't work, I mean, I understand the comments that y'all are making.
Well, I didn't come up with this motion either, so I really don't know a good wording to put it in there. You know what I'm saying? You have an example?
An example?
Yeah, how it should be worded. This is
You want me to make your motion for you?
the funding side. Okay, well, it's here.
You want a word that's not as committal as commit.
Right.
I see.
How about maybe?
The commission will endeavor to fund the phase 1 construction budget. That's our counselor's word. Mr. Jones.
Make a motion to send it back to the property committee and discuss it even further.
Okay, there's a motion to send it back to property committee.
I'll second it.
Okay. Comments or discussion on that point, Mr. Bador?
Just curious if that's going to mess up any sort of timeline that we have with OHM. You know, if it's delayed a month, if they don't see this resolution approved.
Well, the beauty of our new scheduling is we've got property committee scheduled for, I want to say it's like 2 weeks. So we could do this and I could tell OHM it's just another couple of weeks that we need. But then it would be November before we come back to this resolution. Ms. Jones? I'm sorry, can I come back to you? Ms. Jones?
Part of the resolution, eventual resolution should be how we're funded. that should be part of the resolution. So I guess we really have to know, I guess we really have to do some study in the property committee meeting. And as far as criminal court goes, if we move criminal court out of the courthouse, we're still not gonna change up this room, I don't believe. So I don't see how that is, I don't see how it's necessary to make a decision on whether or not we move criminal court out or keep it, at least at this time. I don't understand why that enters into the discussion as far as HVAC or anything else really.
Well, it goes along with where the mechanical spaces go, and it's tied in with the holding cell that would be down in the basement. Where the mechanical space would be, that's the kind of design question they have. Because if we actually had a separate criminal court would be in the holding cells, they might move the mechanical space to a different location. I think their thought is if we maintain criminal court here, we're going to be cramped for space down in that basement for mechanical spaces. Mr. Wall?
I know the motion was sent back to the building committee for further discussion, but the funding of this is the discussion I'd like to hear. So I'd like to see it sent to the budget committee also.
Well, that's
Is that how you do that?
separate. I see two separate issues here. One is the scope of work, and one is how you're going to fund it. Right now, it's scope of work. And once you have the scope of work, then you know how much it's going to cost, and then you figure out how you're going to fund it. That's the line of reasoning I see. Mr. Fedora?
Well, for today's purposes, section 2, commission commits to funding. We could change that, agrees to seek funding.
Okay.
And still be able to kind of get past today. Separately, I'm with Mr. Wilburn. I know I talk a lot about the windows, and I've looked a lot at the windows and asked the clerks their thoughts on the windows. Again, their first comments were more, well, the wood around the windows could use some work, but the windows themselves, I just see that $2.4 million number, and then I see the HVAC that we know we need, which is also about $2.4 million. I'd like to see them replaced, but I don't know if a can of worms today. I'm going back. But, you know, we could move forward today, agreeing to seek funding for phase 1. But maybe.
That's a good thought. But let's go back to the original motion, which is to send it back to the Building and Property Committee. We've got a motion and a second. Any other comments or discussion on doing that? Mr. Hopkins?
Didn't we already have a motion on the floor to
approve the whole works?
Right, exactly. So
we did.
We had 2 motions on the floor. We never dealt with the first one.
Well,
We didn't modify the first motion. We made a different, somebody made a different motion.
Well, one is it's a type of amendment.
Wasn't an amendment, that's a completely different motion.
Well, it does supersede, right? If you all as a group decide you want to send it back to committee, it supersedes the motion to approve it. Right, that's the logic.
Okay.
Mr. Jones?
With my motion, all they gotta do is vote it down, then we go back to the original motion.
That's right. Any other comments or discussion of whether you want to send this back to committee? Okay, let's vote on that. Yes vote is to send it back to committee.
Give it to me, I'll fix it.
There's nothing missing on, it's not used to the yes, but you.
Okay, that motion fails. So the motion that's on the floor is to approve this resolution as it stands. Any other comments or discussion on that? Okay, I'm going to use, I've got Mr. Reedy. Do you have a comment, sir?
No.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Jones, did you have something?
Yes. I'd like to amend the motion to take out the windows, or at least just to say, fix the windows that need to be fixed and replace the cost of the windows with replacing the HVAC. And I understand that if you take the windows out, that makes your HVAC's gonna have to work a little harder, so.
A lot.
Well, just keep in mind that President Trump said by the end of next year, our electric bills will be cut in half. So I'm counting on that.
I see. Okay.
I didn't make a motion.
Great way to plan for the future.
I'll second the motion, not the promise. Yeah, I like the switching out HVAC, which we know we need, for windows, which we've gone back and forth about for months. Not to completely rule out doing fixes to the windows that need it. So the project scope doesn't change in price as it's written.
Motion and a second. So all conversation right now needs to revolve around this motion and a second to remove the window replacement and replace it with HVAC. Is that what your comments about, Mr. Womble?
I will make a comment on HVAC.
Sure. Yeah, you're a good one, dude.
The geothermal system that they quoted is the nicest thing, but it costs 4 times more than a standard unit. My opinion is it would take longer than we're going to be here to ever recoup the difference. So we're going to look at prices on HVAC. I want to see price on standard systems like we have now, which will be around 25% of the cost of what they've got.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I think that's going to be one of their options that they proposed. Mr. Reedy.
We're gonna end up having to do all of this, or it's going to be kind of patched together. So, we need to proceed on this. When it comes to HVAC, this, just accepting this scope of work right here doesn't necessarily lock us in to the geothermal.
Not at all.
We can change that. So I think, I just see, we just need to proceed on. The comment that will be like the ambulance service is a very valid comment.
Thank you. Mr. Wilbur?
That was my point also, as far as the HVAC, they give us a price, the Cadillac deal, the best, what I understood. And, if we don't know about the price, and that's why we said we could send it back to get some more definite figures, because, a little bit, you know more about what you're voting on, instead of just voting in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Rubelski?
I agree with the thoughts of, we can't continue just to cherry pick this thing the whole way through. If you look at windows, with upgrading with a low E, being argon gas, with, when you take out the windows, you're foaming the windows, doing all these things. These are all things that ultimately will have to get done, like Mr. Ricky's saying. This is one of the things that if we want to preserve this building, that's what we are committed to, was, hey, we want to preserve, we want to continue to move through. The best features for us to do that, whether we continue to use this building as it's used now, or we build something else or whatever, we're still talking about that. We want to sustain and to keep this building for the future. These are things that ultimately will have to get done. If you don't do work on your house, it will just deteriorate and fall. We're continuing to make circles here. We need to continue just to move forward.
Okay, Ms. Pruitt?
Matt said just about everything I had to say. We continue to keep this can. We are sitting in a position that the original commission sat in when they agreed to build this building. Now, we have to decide if we're going to preserve it. A lot of us want to, and a lot of the people in this county may not want to. So if we spend $1 million or $10 million, it's not going to be popular for everyone. But we have to decide if it's significant enough for us to preserve this building. And we hired a consultant at a very great cost to tell us how to do it. And now we're coming back and second guessing the professional. It's an unpopular decision to make to spend money. I understand that totally. But we have to decide if we're gonna save it or if we're gonna let the walls fall in on us.
Okay, before we do repeats, I'm gonna Ms. Curry. You haven't spoken yet.
So, we've been going back and forth on this since 2019. That's been Loudoun County's courthouse department. And we wanted to do whatever we could to prevent our courthouse from burning to the ground, like the previous 5 we had. And, we have worked on this, and like Judy said, we have heard from the experts multiple times. Y'all, it is nonsensical to do HVAC without new windows. So we need to move forward with our scope of work. The last meeting, they were gonna come back, they were gonna do more research on the HVAC and come back to us. Maybe the HVAC, we vote on that in a couple of months, and it gets worked into the project so that we're not ripping the ceilings out twice. But we have a plan forward. And if we need to amend our resolution to say, investigate how we're gonna pay for it, let's do that. Let's move forward, y'all. This is exactly what Roger said. We've been talking about the ambulance service for 30 years. We're gonna talk about the courthouse for 30 years, when something should have been done to this building 30 years ago. So let's move forward. This is beyond ridiculous at this point.
Okay, Mr. Reedy?
No, I've already spoken.
Okay, Dr. Lathrop?
I agree with my colleague 100%. If any of you have ever built a house, did you nitpick with your builder about how to do things in what order? Well, think if there were 21 people trying to nitpick with you, you'd never get anything done. It's time to move forward. You either go forward or we kick the can another 30 years.
Okay. So the motion that's on the floor is to strike window replacement and replace it with HVAC. Any other comments on that? Okay, we're going to vote on that one amendment. The yes vote is to strike window replacement and put HVAC into it.
We got that.
Vote is 5 ayes and 14 noes.
Motion fails. So we're back to the original motion, which is resolution without any edits. So if you would like to make it, I've heard suggestions to an edit in section 2, Mr. Bador.
Yeah, I'll just go back to the rewording section 2, to say the commission agrees to seek funding.
Okay, so the motion is to amend section 2 to strike, commit, and replace it with agrees to seek. Comments or discussion on that?
You just second.
Second, sorry, thank you. Curry, second. Comments or discussion? Okay, here to vote on that.
Clarification.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're just voting on changing the wording.
Correct. This is just to change the edit, which is a strike, commit, and replace with agree to seek. That's all this is for. Mr. Reisman?
Commit to what now?
We're gonna, instead of saying the commission commits to funding phase 1, it's gonna read the commission agrees to seek funding for phase 1. Mr. Savage?
I'd like to ask the county attorney if that actually changes anything, because I personally don't see a big difference between committing to and agreeing to seek. Either way, you're saying you're gonna come up with the money, in my view.
I see no difference whatsoever. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a project that's been approved without funding. You might have heard those called unfunded mandates at the national level, right? So it's still a matter of figuring out a way to go forward and pay for what you agree to do.
Mr. Wilbur?
That's what I understand also. It's not changing.
Okay, but There's been a motion to edit it. If you feel better about it, that we're agreeing to seek funding versus making a commitment, we can do that. Either way, we're gonna have a budget committee meeting to talk about it. So this is the motion on the floor. The edit is to, agree to seek versus commit. And the yes vote is to make the edit. The vote's in process.
The last one.
Vote is 10 ayes and 9 noes.
Does anybody see a vote tally that's incorrect for themselves? Well, I'm just saying, is anybody seeing a vote for themselves incorrect? Okay, so it's 10 ayes and 9 noes, and it requires 11 votes to pass, so that motion fails. So we're back to the original motion to approve the entirety of the resolution as it stands. Any other comments or discussion on that? Okay, please vote. What? What's your question?
What we're concerned with is, well, as our county attorney pointed out, an unfunded mandate.
Then vote against it.
Well, what I'm saying, thank you. What I think we need is to know how we're gonna fund it before this passes. And it should have been part of the resolution. Even though I want to see the work done, I'm gonna vote against it because I don't want to see a contract then until we know how we're paying for it. I think the county needs to know that we are watching over their money, you know, responsible. So I don't know why that's not part of this.
No, they didn't agree that there's no contractual agreement that's gonna come out of this. Not till we come.
Are we gonna be forced, it's like, I'm gonna miss this. If we decide that, hey, this is gonna require, from the county, something that we, as far as the financing goes, something that we are not comfortable with, and say the majority decide we don't want to go that direction, do we have the option to go back on this and say, no, we changed our mind?
There's no contract.
Okay.
But I need to give direction to OHM as to whether to proceed or not, because we're marching forward to like spring, summer, scaffolding going up on this building and work commencing. That's where we're moving to.
So we can back out without.
We get together in January and say, we can't come up with
Well, for
something.
instance, if there's a financial collapse, which, you know, it's coming, we can back up.
One very bad option. Another option is we get together in January and say, we can't come up with 7.2 million. We need to adjust the scope of work.
Okay.
Okay. I thought that was pretty clear. So we're back. Mr. Reed, do you have a comment, sir?
Yes. Any kind of disaster comes in, we'll have a force majeure in the contract somewhere. And we can back out on that. But I think that if we don't commit to this group to go ahead and go forward, we're gonna be another year. If we can't do it in the spring and the summer, and can't get everything lined up for then you're gonna get very little done in the winter, late fall.
Okay. Any other comments before we go to vote? Okay, please vote.
15 ayes and 4 noes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, next is Resolution 2024-63, which is in your packet. It's the proposal for the Tennessee Department of Health to construct an emergency care and storage facility on property jointly owned with the city of Pulaski, located at 2911 Mineville Highway. But I discussed this with the state last week. They've got some details that they're ironing out that grant that I think they need to iron out before we make a decision on this. So I'm going to entertain a motion. It's in your packet, it's in your agenda, but I'd like to entertain a motion to postpone this till November. And Mr. Wilburn and the second, Mr. Hopkins, any comments or discussion on that? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, this will be on your, I'll have some answers at the next property committee meeting, and we'll decide whether this is addressed in November or not.
Next resolution is 2024-64, naming the bridge on Bledsoe Road over Rouge Creek Bridge, number 280A1380001, the Charles R. Red River Memorial Bridge.
Thank you. Ms. Guthrie had her hand up first.
Motion to approve.
And a second, Mr. Jones. Comments or discussion? Okay, please vote.
Grandmother on Facebook again. My computer.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
And the vote is 18 ayes and 1 no.
Motion carries.
Next resolution is 2024-65, relative to the reimbursement of emergency medical technician.
If we're looking for motion, Mr. Savage. A second from Mr. Wamble. Comments or discussion? Yes, Mr. Bedore?
I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, but just for the public's knowledge, is this one of those cases where we were gonna reimburse, Paranex CMS to go get trained, so long as they committed to working a certain amount of time?
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
There's several provisions in the resolution that people have to submit to this in order to get the reimbursement. Yeah.
Hopefully this encourages other high schoolers or people looking to start their careers to consider going to get training and be reimbursed by the county. I think that's a great way to approach critical jobs. We need more people to work. I think it's been a good program.
Good. Any other questions, comments? Okay, please vote.
It's 19 ayes.
Motion carries. Okay. And although it seems like we're near the end, I think some people anticipate some discussion on the next resolution, and I've got a request for a break. So let's take 10 minutes and return at, I'll just say 10:15.
Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESenergize.com.
The Natural Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn & Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESenergize.com.
The Natural Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn and Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESEnergize.com.
The Natural Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn and Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESenergize.com.
The Natural Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn and Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Let's go ahead and call our meeting back to order, and I'm going to ask Erin if she'll take the chair, because I have a few comments on this resolution 2024-66. Is it 65 or 66? 66. Okay, I've got quite a few comments on this, and one reason is because I missed your budget committee meeting. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I did give you all a different resolution to consider, which you didn't approve. You went in a different direction, but I'm sorry I wasn't there to answer some of your questions. I'm also going to be dredging up some history that's occurred in here for the last few months, really, because in my opinion, I don't want to address just this resolution. It's really, I'm going to unpack the things behind the resolution, okay? Ronald Reagan once said that the people who agree with you 80% of the time are your friends and allies. That doesn't mean they're 20% traitor. And that's how I approached the commission this morning. We may not always agree, but I'm sharp enough to understand that most of us are on the same side. And most of us put county interest ahead of self-interest. But that said, we do have a major disagreement when it comes to this resolution. And while we may share at least 80% agreement on most issues, and when it comes to communicating dissent, I usually tend to be frank and candid. I'll be blunt so that there's no misunderstanding. So this resolution the budget committee came up with is interesting because I think some think it's a well-meaning attempt to put guardrails around capital funds. I find it weirdly erratic that this resolution intentionally disregards the county's 4 other capital funds with a singular focus on 171. So that's an immediate red flag. Why the scrutiny of one fund? Why do the squirrels chase this one particular nut? Unfortunately, I can't follow the budget committee's logic, which leads to a regrettable conclusion that there isn't any. So it seems there are a number of you with significant knowledge gaps. So I'm forced to publicly expose those gaps. I wish we could have done it in committee. You've compelled me to strip out the nonsense that surrounds this resolution. And there's a couple of commissioners that have asked me why I'm so bent about this one particular resolution. And the answer is because it's a culmination of 2 years of on again, off again nonsense. Just when I think we're hitting our stride, we get sidetracked by a small clique who aren't up to doing their job, yet they really want to crack into mine. And a few of you have taken a clear stance against micromanagement in committee, which is helpful, and I thank you. But then the dogs return to their vomit. So the best way to unpack the confusion surrounding this resolution is to ask some simple questions Questions that you all know because it's fundamental to being a commissioner. So let's start with this scenario. Last week, without getting a permission slip from the commission, I spent $188,000, $188,545 and 82 cents to be exact, out of the 171 fund. So here's the first question, particularly for the 6 budget committee members who moved this resolution to full commission. Do many of you find that troubling? It's not a rhetorical question. You find that troubling? Okay.
I have stated questions wasn't spent on.
Oh, I'm gonna get there. Okay. But, okay, I'll get there. So that's just one example. I spend money out of 171 fund all the time. That's just one example. And that's the most it's ever come up, $188,000 within this. So a follow-on question, who's responsible for vetting and approving the annual budget? You all are, right? We're 2 questions into this. Do you see where this is going? Okay. How many of you have reviewed your budget binder since passing it in June? That's rhetorical. I'm not going to make you raise your hand. But it's your budget. It's your number one responsibility. So I have to presume you all understand it. Did anyone, before you went into committee, look at your budget before jumping on the 171 hamster wheel? Because there's a page there for your 171 budget. If you're to glance at that budget, you're all approved in June, and turn to the tab labeled 171 and scan down to the line that says public entity projects. That line is nearly $1.8 million. And you won't remember what it's for, it's broadband. Okay, that's for our broadband grants and building out the broadband infrastructure. So again, you all approved that line item, that's obligated money. So when I paid that invoice for $188,000 or any other invoice for line item services out of 171, am I doing that with or without commission approval? With your approval. So take a wild guess on how much that fund, 171, has been expended without any commission notification. It's $0, okay? So with those 6 questions answered, we expose the first fallacy because this resolution states that you want expenditures from the 171 fund to be approved by the commission. And lo and behold, you've already done that because every penny being expended out of 171 was obligated in the budget that you all approved. Now let's shift into second gear. Although this is still elementary stuff. What's the difference between a recurring operational expense and a non-recurring capital expense? Which of those belongs in an annual operating budget and which is paid out of a capital project fund? Okay? You all know this because I've been talking about it for a while, but for the benefit of the public, a recurring expense is something like our water bills, insurance, our payroll. Non-recurring capital expenses are things like when we're repairing a roof, replacing an AC unit, we're buying a vehicle for the sheriff's department. Commissioners know the difference because I've been pile driving this for 2 years. So the question follows, what's the purpose of keeping capital funds plussed up, set aside for non-recurring expenses? What's the purpose of plussing up 171 by leaving all the money in fund balance? Well, I'll answer that one too. It's so we can anticipate and be proactive versus the way it's always been done, which is waiting around for things to break. Then it's a financial emergency, and then we dip into fund balance to bail ourselves out. That's the dysfunction I've been trying to fix through the 171 fund. The next question, before I came into office, what was the commission doing to prepare for these non-recurring, unanticipated expenses? And the answer to that is nothing. There were no preparations. We had $3,800 in our capital funds project fund for hundreds of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure. And the only word I have for that is irresponsible. Anyone nostalgic for that kind of dysfunction isn't worthy of public service. So shift into third gear. Under what financial system established by state statute does Giles County operate? It starts with 1981. The 1981 financial management system is what we operate under. Under that system, we have a financial management committee. Which department heads are required by statute to sit on that committee? Schools, highway, and myself. So next up, what are the duties of the financial management committee? And I'm going to pull this right out of CTAS. The financial management committee establishes and approves policies, procedures, and regulations implementing a sound and efficient financial system for administering the funds of the county. So these last 7 questions I've just covered with you expose another gross misunderstanding in this resolution, because your resolution states that the commission created the fund balance policy. And that's just flat wrong. It was the Financial Management Committee who adopted the fund balance policy, because that's their statutory role. Anyone with lingering questions on this point should have visited Beth or I, or reread the fund balance policy, which explains all this in excruciating detail. This is all explained through the months of January, February, and March. We sat in rooms and sorted it out. Shifting into 4th year. So the Financial Management Committee has 7 seats. 3 of them are the statutory department heads. Where do the other 4 come from? This commission. So now a basic math question. 4 out of 7 a majority? You guys own the Financial Management Committee. You have majority membership, and you all elect those 4 members. We just did it last month. So does anyone find it interesting that the 3 department heads on the Financial Management Committee just happen to be those that are responsible for the county's 5 capital project funds? All right? Those 3 people sit on the Financial Management Committee with the 4 commissioners. Does anyone think that's a coincidence? Is the 1981 financial management system starting to make sense? So of the county's 5 capital project funds, it's clear from this resolution that the only one that you know anything about, anything whatsoever, is 171. So here's a rhetorical question, but it's the crux of my argument. Why is that? Why do you know so much about 171? Which department head has been keeping you informed and bringing you proposals and asking you to work in partnership to prioritize your capital projects? And while I'm not here to critique other elected officials or how they use their capital funds, how many of you have a solitary clue about how much money is in Fund 176? 177, 189, 178. How are they funded? Where's that money going? I find it very odd that you have zero curiosity on how those funds are managed, but on the other hand, hypocrisy is not at all. It's just a game called politics. So back to my earlier question, why do you know so much about 171? I'll tell you exactly why. Because I busted my rear end for 2 years being transparent with this commission. And I've made darn sure every proposal that I brought to you all was vetted in an open and public meeting. And the reward for being transparent with you all? Well, I'm going to look at the positive side. I'm hopeful that most of you are starting to get it. You're either on board or starting to crystallize that the changes we've ushered in, which are really nothing more than basic accounting principles, are critical to this county's long-term financial health. And together, we're responsible for sustaining an infrastructure that hasn't received much attention over the last quarter century. Just talking about that. Some of that infrastructure, like our courthouse, our water system, our schools, hasn't had attention in half a century, even beyond some of the lifetimes in this room. And that's changing. But why anyone would want to throw sand in those gears is beyond my comprehension. Most of you do see the progress. Many of you have reached the hilltop and you're getting a glimpse of what the future might look like. But there was a handful of you reading around in the valley of despair, nostalgic for dysfunction, oblivious to positive change because you're blinded by political resentments. And the majority of us are pleased when we can move the county 2 steps forward. But then a resolution like this comes along and it becomes evident how prone some of you are to play chase the squirrel. So yeah, in case I haven't made it clear yet, I'm a little frustrated. I'm done unpacking this resolution. I think I've stripped it bare of the fallacies and inconsistencies. Again, I'll work with you all to come up with something that puts effective guardrails around our capital funds. But this one, I shot it full of ragged holes. Since some of you are so deeply concerned with financial stewardship, though, and since y'all are the ones who wanted to air this out, let's drill a little deeper. I'm going to shift it into 5th year. Because beyond the annual budget, there's another massive responsibility that's 100% in y'all's wheelhouse. And that's making the big sweeping decisions about our capital projects. That's what we're just talking about with the courthouse here. And I always bring these big decisions to you with alternatives, options, and recommendations with dollar figures attached to them. Now let this sink in. Within the last 4 months, you've made some decisions that are going to cost this county some huge bucks for years into the future, unless some of you come together to call those decisions back. The first one I'm going to bring up is the decision to not co-locate E911 with the new ambulance building, both of which are required to be Category 4, storm-hardened building, so it only made financial sense to co-locate those functions under one roof. But too bad for the taxpayers, some of you missed those key meetings. Some of you didn't read the reports, and many resorted to the old game of kick the can. You were briefed very clearly that if you rejected co-location, all other E911 recapitalization options would cost at least an additional $500,000. That was documented in 2 engineering reports from 2 different engineering firms. Yet for some reason, I can't begin to fathom, you either rejected those reports or didn't read them. Even after I hand-delivered copies, I put the numbers up on a big PowerPoint slide. I heard the argument that E911 was not the county's burden, that the cost would have to be shared with the city of Pulaski. That's well and good. But I have to say that I'm pretty sure Pulaski is populated by Giles County citizens. And as I explained before, there are no grants, and the state isn't going to pitch a dime into that project. Giles County taxpayers own that lock, stock, and barrel. That decision to not co-locate E911 with the ambulance service was deliberated for all of about 2 minutes. And shoot, I've listened to you all deliberate whether to replace a garage door for an hour. But this issue got about 2 minutes of banter that ignored the engineering analysis, ignored the construction estimates, ignored common sense, and it's going to cost this county at least an extra $500,000 because I think we made the wrong decision. But what has you all tied up in knots? Gee, Graham might spend $50,000 without running it by the commission. The next decision was even more costly. A couple of months ago, I put a resolution before y'all that specifically excluded the morgue from that new ambulance facility. Why would I recommend that? Well, it's because a morgue doesn't need to be in a hardened facility, that's why. And here's the light and bold common sense. A dead body doesn't need to be protected from a tornado. We could renovate an existing space for the morgue, or we could go with a cheap prefab building. It does not need to be included in a hardened Cat 4 facility. But again, with very little discussion, this commission voted to throw the morgue in with the ambulance facility. And the price tag of that facility, when I throw in the square foot space times $600 or $700 a square foot, $800,000. Now, of course, you all are autonomous. You do not work for me. You work for the people. You have absolute authority to blow off engineering studies. You can disregard basic economics. You have absolute power to saddle the taxpayer for that $1.3 million of pointless spending. But heck, if I can just speak for a taxpayer for the moment, not county executive, that pisses me off. Especially after I laid out all the pertinent information on a silver platter. But meanwhile, what's got some of your knickers in a twist? Gee, maybe I might go on a $50,000 spending spree. I've just outlined 2 major decisions that are going to cost the taxpayers at least $1.3 million, squarely in your jurisdictional authority. But you want to train a microscope on my judgment? I got a proposal for this commission, and particularly those of you who are more interested in accountable leadership than political preening. How about you let me do my job? And even better, how about we start working together as a team? I mean this with respect, but I've got to ask some of you to double your efforts to focus on your responsibilities. I'll do my job as quarterback, but I sure as heck need more linemen and receivers. I promise you, as I promise the people of this county, I am all in on public service. I expect that's self-evident because I stink at the petty politics. I spend about 0% of my time putting salve on fragile egos and 100% of my time trying to move the ball down the field. Yeah, it's hard when you're on a team when some have to skip games, some miss some blocks, and some dream what a great, they'd be a great quarterback in 2026. But let's put all that aside. My appeal is to the rest of the commission, the majority, the reasonable commissioners. Would you like to sustain forward momentum? Some of you have served for years. Some of us are pretty new at this. But here's the good news. The vast majority of us have something very important in common, which is our willingness to put county interest above self-interest. I know we all have very busy personal lives outside of county business, but I've also got to be blunt. Some of you prefer to sit on the train and watch the scenery go by. And with respect, that disinterest, and I won't miss words, that laziness is what allows this commission to sleepwalk into dumb decisions. That's got to change. You sure don't have to agree with me on everything. Some of our disagreements have taught me so much and made me a better county executive. But I have to encourage the genuine leaders in this room to swat the trifles aside, and I have to encourage you to work and learn and read. You don't learn this stuff by trawling for likes on Facebook, and you don't learn this stuff by taking a poll in your Sunday school class. You got to do your homework and ask questions anytime. Call me, come see Beth, get to the second deck of the annex, and we'll talk things out. But you got to learn. After you do whatever you decide to do with this resolution, and starting immediately after this meeting, the train is leaving the station, and it's going to keep moving forward relentlessly for the good of the county. I'd encourage you to get on the train, or you might just get run over. I have no personal grudges with a single person in this room. Not one. Many of you have earned my deep respect. Because here's what I respect. I respect competence. I respect conviction, even when it's not my conviction. I respect constancy. That means showing up and playing the game every day. And I respect selflessness. Those virtues are all here in this room. Those of us who respect one another, and we've got a huge voting majority if we get our act together. We've got meaningful work to do, work that far supersedes distractions like this resolution. We're going to spend the next 2 years debating and disagreeing and deliberating and disagreeing some more. And then we're going to reach consensus and come up with some decisions, and we're going to make some good things happen. As for the handful of grumblers who are seething right now, what about them? Shoot, last I checked, the moving train has pretty good odds against a few disgruntled nags. I'd say let them nag. The last thing is that there may be a couple who want to critique this talk, spew their rage on social media, and that's okay. I've gotten used to that. But you know what? I've only said some things out loud that everyone in this room already knows. I've worked for 2 years to get 21 people to pull in the same direction. But it's just a fact of life and human nature. Some people build and the others tear down. That's not a surprise because that's the way it's been since Genesis chapter 3. So you're very close to adjournment. I've gone for quite a while now. I'm going to leave the room so you can figure out what you want to do with your resolution. If you've heard this appeal, if you're ready to start working on more important issues, then I'll be resuming the chair at our next meeting. But you need to know I have a line that I've etched in stone. I am not going to be micromanaged by this commission. If you pass this resolution or anything resembling it, then your very next order of business needs to be the election of a new chair. Either way, we've got important work to do, and I'm actually looking forward to getting it done because we're going to sprint all the way through August 31st, 2026. So thanks for your patience and listening. Good luck.
Okay. And you had a question 2 minutes ago?
My question, this is my motion, this is my resolution. And while I appreciate the county executive's statement, this is not something to be at odds about. This is something we can figure out today at the next budget meeting. This is a very simple resolution summarizing where we last left off. So if it needs additional sentences, this is a group effort. I think this is us working as a team. This is the deliberative process of democracy. This is what it looks like. There's been a lot of arguments about this is an attempt to micromanage. I just don't see it as that. We, in fact, I think we're gracious in putting a $50,000 threshold before our approval would even kick in. I just don't see that as micromanaging. I think that's more of an attempt to, we historically don't want to micromanage the highway department or the school budget once we approved it, because we know what's in their budget. That's what is different about the 171. County Executive So is correct to point out that some of the funds are obligated. The 188,000 he mentioned that had to go to Ardmore Telephone Company. I think that's for 20% of the project they had completed. Of course, we've already agreed that the money should be spent that way, or the grant dollars are already obligated. This relates to unobligated funds. So, for example, we could add to the title to safeguard unobligated funds, if that makes it clearer for those who don't understand. There is another $1.8 million for broadband, an infrastructure grant. We talked about that. We gave that a thumbs up. So yeah, this isn't that we have to vote on that again. This is so that we have a say in how all the rest of the money is spent. I'm really surprised that it's so controversial, to be quite honest. I think we all knew when the fund balance policy was created that it was a good idea to put aside money every year for capital projects. That's what we did. This is not an attempt to undo the fund balance policy. This is, as County Executive So put it, a well-meaning attempt to put guardrails on how the money is spent. I think that's what the taxpayers expect of us. This is not picking a fight. This is not meant to be a distraction, and I don't consider it nonsense.
Okay, before we go on to the next speaker, we need a motion or not.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion from Evan, second from Gail.
That's all I have.
Dr. Hawkins.
Thank you. Let me give you one example from sitting in the budget committee meeting. You all remember, I hope, that we recently passed a timekeeping software, approved that. Mr. Stowe made it very clear in the budget meeting that he was only asking us as a budget committee out of courtesy. That wasn't required. He could just go do it if he wanted to, but out of courtesy, he was bringing it to us because he was in favor of it and was going to approve it. I voted for it. I agree. It should be done. But the point is, when we had the funds in the general fund as opposed to the 171 account, we controlled that choice. Once we created the 171 fund, apparently we no longer have control of that money. That's the difference. We just say, what's the difference between the 171 fund and any of the other capital projects funds? We historically, because we as the commission are responsible for primarily the budget, the county's money. When it was in the general fund, and anything in the general fund is our choice to spend. We decided to use this, the 171 as a savings account. I agree, it's a good idea for capital projects. I think that's a great thing. The thing was, I think most of us didn't understand that at that point, we no longer had any control over that money, within reason. Anything that's allocated, as Mr. Bedore said, is allocated. We don't have to worry about it. It's the unallocated funds. That being the case, while I like the concept of this, I would like to change it to unallocated funds because I don't want to prevent him from spending $188,000 we already approved. That's ludicrous to have to do that and waste his time and ours. But there are unallocated funds that he has been, I believe Mr. Graham has done a great job of keeping us informed of what he does and where he spends the money. I have no complaints about that. But I don't know that the next county executive will be that way. And that's what this is about. So I would like to make a modify the motion to include it as, unallocated funds.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Amendment
Yes, ma'am.
To
To the,
modify the resolution for unallocated funds.
correct.
So is there any discussion on that motion? To speak as a commissioner, two budget committee meetings ago, this is when that came up. And, I was one of the ones that vocalized my confusion, and I was confused. And the unallocated fund portion, I mean, that is, I did not understand that part. But highway department, school board, they may have there's gonna be things in their capital funds that they don't know on July 1 are gonna happen. So I think this is a comparable situation, they, may not know that Southside's gonna need a new roof until it happens. And so I think that's the comparison we need to make to the other capital funds. But I will, I have been torn about this. I've talked about it, I've talked Graham multiple times. And I do think, we are not, if we proceed with this resolution, we're not treating our department, our elected officials equally. So, change it. So this motion to unallocated funds, I think clears that up some, but I still don't think we are, treating everybody the same. I had a few other people. So we had some questions before the amendment came up. Do we have any other questions related to this amendment? All right. Y'all want to speak on your original questions? Roger, Caleb, Rebelski, Lathrop?
So my personal opinion on this is I believe that, I do agree with part of what you're saying, the fact that to nitpick what county executive does and doesn't stand, whatever you look at, what the school director spends, they spend a lot of money without going through, full approval every time through their capital project funds. I personally believe that this issue is more related to a policy and would be better handled by a discussion of adopting a new policy through the Financial Management Committee, more so than a resolution through the commissions. I would like to make a motion to send this issue to the Financial Management Committee to be discussed at their next meeting.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion by Caleb Savage and a second by Roger Reed to send this back to the Financial Management Committee for further policy discussion. Gail?
There was quite a bit of discussion at the last Financial Management Committee meeting. Or I guess if you go back, we discussed again. Concerning the unallocated funds, the problem is we have more needs than we have money. And that's why I think we need the full commission to enter into an agreement. I'd rather see 11 commissioners vote on how we spend that money than 3 or 4, but, or just one. And if Brad would like to tell the full commission what he told me a while ago about another county that was in this position, kind of in this position, I think we would find it interesting. But I don't think I would go back to committee, not financial committee.
Roger, did you want to speak to this amendment?
To this amendment?
Yeah.
No, I was going to speak to the original.
Okay. Rebelski, did you want to speak to this amendment? Evan?
I have no objection for it to go back to committee.
Well, I'm just calling on the people that I have not called on, so.
I do have another second. Look, I think a great example of why this guardrail is necessary, or this should be considered. We're still arguing about heart markers, for example. The Financial Management Committee prioritized.
I thought he was going to talk about
this particular amendment. I mean, I've got thoughts, I think everybody else has thoughts, but it's on this particular amendment, that's the reason I didn't speak. And I'm not trying to, you know, at least not saying on the
Later, Dr. Lathrop, did you have something on this amendment? About going back to committee?
Okay, thank you for letting me talk for just a few minutes. I would be in agreement to sending this back to financial management to be revised and deliberated upon. I think there are obviously things that we agree on and things we don't agree on. And I think that needs to be ironed out and put back as a resolution that is more acceptable to all parties involved.
Thank you. I think sending this back to the committee is a good idea. Terry,
I think it should go back to the legislative committee. To be talking. We have more commissioners talking about it.
I don't know that legislative is the right place for this. Okay, Evan,
It's a rule. It relates to a policy. I don't see why legislative couldn't discuss it. We'd be happy to put it on the next agenda. Now, I just want to use the example of the cardiac monitors because this was two budget meetings ago when this sort of came to light. It was the meeting where we were basically reviewing everything from the annex security upgrade, the county IT position, all these recommendations that were coming out of the financial management committee. The fund balance policy says that the financial management committee is to prioritize. I don't read that as they get to make the decision. They prioritize. I take that as they're going to recommend to the commission what you get paid for first. But, you know, obviously we've had some disagreement about the cardiac monitors. I think if Mr. Hopkins had not said, well, let's, in light of this new information we have, let's at least send these to be approved by the full commission. That principle is the same thing that's at play here. Those times, you know, for example, the cardiac monitors were $784,000. They are now $336,000 cheaper, as far as we know. I just think it was good that Mr. Hopkins said, well, let's send it to the full commission to make sure we can approve these things. I just think that's fair, just makes sense. The idea that shouldn't be done. I stand by the principle of the resolution, though I agree we probably need to flesh it out a little bit.
Mr. Bell?
Yeah, so speaking on this particular amendment, I don't think there's any need to send this back to the financial committee. Because I think ultimately, when you look at this resolution, and if we want to be consistent all the way across as commissioners, what was brought to us was this original resolution here where it had all of the funds. It had 171, 176, 177, 178, 189. If you go and you speak to our financial director, or if you were to listen to Grant, they said this is not a good idea. This resolution, the number 77, is not a good idea. The reason why on this resolution, the reason why is if you go through and you break it down, do we trust our highway department head? Do we trust Dr. Beard? Do we trust, you go through, do we trust Grant into these other areas right here? And the whole reason this one right here was not shot down, or ultimately was brought up, that Grant brought up, was, hey, if we're going to be consistent, we can't just go after 171. We need to be consistent all the way across. Ultimately, if we want to be consistent, we want to do the right things. 66, the resolution that we're talking about right now, needs to be done away with because it's not consistent across the board for us as commissioners. We're trying to cherry pick and say, oh, we're looking to Grant here, but we're not looking into any of these other departments here. If this should not pass, if any of them should pass, then we vote for this one where you bring all of them together. that was even, as we discussed, Beth came in and said, hey, if we want to be consistent all the way across the board, this is what we do. If we want to micromanage, at the 50,000, not one particular line item. And you can see exactly why Graham would get so upset. Because politically, it looks like, I know what everybody's saying. Well, no, we've got the responsibilities to look out for the funds for our constituents. It's not consistent across the board. If we want to be consistent across the board, you go back to this one where you do every fund that's on there and you're consistent across the board. And and in a sense, what we're saying, we're going to micromanage all of the department heads. Graham, Gene, Vicky Beard, everybody across the board. That's what we're saying. There's no need to send this back because it's going to be the same discussion. Either you want to micromanage or you don't want to micromanage. But if we do this right here, we're taking steps backwards to pass 66. I think even if we pass this one, we'll take steps back. But if we want to be consistent, we go back to this original resolution that was brought up when we had our budget meeting of trying to talk through, and then we want to come through and we're worried about this particular one. This is the only one. If we want to go in this direction, this resolution needs to be strict. And it needs to come through and it needs to have all of the capital funds on here to be consistent across the board. And you bring in the money line and we manage all of that at the $50,000. If you don't do that, we're losing a good man here and across the board. He will step down from this chair right here and it'll fall directly onto right here. Look at the momentum of what we've already been able to do. We have so much disagreement here at times, but we're making good ground on so many good things. Be consistent. That's the thought. If you want to be consistent, pass this. If we want to have full trust in our department heads, do away with both of these. Let's move on and realize why we created the capital funds. The capital funds, Graham's not going out and spending money that we haven't already discussed and talked about here or in the financial committee or anything else like that. And if you bring anybody else in there, it's going to be the same thing. Gene bought $60,000 trucks. He didn't ask us, hey, do you want a Ford? Do you want a Chevy? What do you want? All these other things. He got what he thought was needed. He came through. He spent that money. We came through. We see it. All this stuff we talk about. I don't understand. If there's something broke or going through, we're talking about these things. It's not like Graham's going out and spending this money.
Okay, we'll move on to Joyce.
I agree with you.
And let's we have a minute back to committees. Let's try to keep
I
it
did start with
common.
it.
Yeah.
Piggyback.
Yeah, so let's stay focused on this minute.
I agree with Matt. I don't know why we have to single out 171 and we don't have micromanage the other department heads. We give them the money and they say what they can do with it. And I think it's a personal issue that some has, and I think that we need to move on and do them inconsistent like Matt suggested.
Caleb.
I think that Graham and every single person here wants our county to improve, and we want to manage our finances responsibly. In the end, whatever we're trying to accomplish here is not going to be accomplished today. That is very, very, very obvious. This resolution obviously is not going to work for everyone, and doing nothing doesn't work for other people as well. So I think that we need to send it back to committee and see if we can come up with a solution that works for everyone. So I'd like to call the question.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we're gonna call the question in 2/3 vote. One second, and we're gonna.
Which one we're voting on?
Go
We're calling, first thing we're voting on is calling the question.
For which motion?
sending it back to committee.
Which committee?
Finance management.
Financial management. Committee 14. So right now you're voting on the whole. I can vote when I'm sitting as pro tem. Voting on following question. And.
Is there a roll call?
Vote.
No, you're not.
17 ayes and 2 noes.
All right, so now we're gonna vote on sending this back to the financial management committee. Okay, please vote.
Is there any discussion on that?
Yes, I mean, we can again, if we need to, but that's what we've been doing before the question was called. No, we can't. We call the question.
Not on this one.
We call the question. Yeah. Yeah. This is new to me. I didn't realize that I would be doing all this. Okay, please vote. We'll send it back.
But was that called a question even on this?
We always make this vote, so please vote on sending it back to me. Tim, Tim.
12 ayes and 7 noes.
Okay. All right, is Graham sitting outside?
So the whole should be.
Just adjourn.
So have a finished business.
So we just voted to send this back to the committee.
Yes. Okay. I guess I'm finished then. Is there any unfinished business?
Did the sheriff resign effective today, or when is that resignation?
I know we have to report Sunday evening, so I think that's effective. Pretty quickly. Any other unfinished business? Is there any new business? I don't have any announcements.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Under new business, could we vote on Joe filling in until later?
Yeah. All right, motion to adjourn.
Yeah.